Good day, HL fans. This is PokeRangerMike, and I am breaking down my battle against EpicMic in week 2. And pretty much this is the team match-off. So Mick decided to bring Mega Absol, my Avaluggs, Sandslash, Metagross, Dragalge, and Ditto, and I brought Entei, Mega Venusaur, Arachnid, Magnezone, Aromatisse, and Donphan. So first off, the thing that I noticed about Mick's team, a little bit weak to ground, and the only real defensive mon are obviously his Milotic and Sandslash. So if I can weaken those, then I'll be able to kind of bust through his team. So seeing that Sandslash, I know that he wants to get up his rocks right away. So I decide to lead off with my Arachnid against him and just go for the liquidation. And that's exactly what I do. So he does go for the Stealth Rocks as I predicted. Get the liquidation, do a clean 83% damage to him. This was very tough because now he doesn't really have, his Sandslash is pretty useless at this point. There's nothing he can really do with it. So from here, I believe this is where I predict him to bring in his Milotic, because honestly Milotic just kind of walls Arachnid in some ways. So he does bring in that. I just go for liquidation again just in case he wants to stay in. Now here, I decide to switch out into my Venusaur, mainly because it's pretty safe. I don't think he's going to go for an Ice Beam at this point, so I can kind of make that prediction and switch. And he goes for Toxic, predicting, or he just wanted to, Toxic my Arachnid. I kind of did predict that. I was thinking about that as we were playing, and honestly, Venusaur was just a good switch in. If you went for a Water move, if you went for Toxic, neither would do really much to me. So from here, I can easily just set up a Leech Seed, as he does switch into his Ditto. Now the interesting thing here is that the switch happens first, and he copies my Venusaur, and then I Mega Evolve. The reason why this is important is because this means that he has the stats of regular Venusaur, and he also has the ability of Venusaur. Meanwhile, I have Thick Fat as Mega Venusaur, so he's not going to be able to do that much to me. And he was packing the HP Fire, which would have been good if I wasn't Mega. To really make use of the HP, he should have gone with Flying or Psychic, because those are only types that are super effective on Mega Venusaur. So he almost prepped really well. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite as good. So he has Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Hidden Power Fire, and Earthquake as his moves. And so right here, it's safe for me just to go for a Hidden Power Fire, because it is super effective. And fortunately, I do get a crit, so it does do a little bit of damage. And from here, it's really safe for me to just go for the Leech Seed, because I know he's not going to want to stay in and keep Leech Seeding, because he's most likely Choice Scarfed. So it would just be kind of pointless for him, and he would end up losing his Ditto. So I know he's going to switch. So going for the Leech Seed is a safe play for me. Now, from here, I'm getting my HP back. I know that a Zen Headbutt's not going to do that much, so I feel like it's okay for me just to go and attack. And he ends up having the Shuka Berry, which was very good prep on his part. Weakens my Earthquake damage. I still do 16 and still have the Leech Seed, so I'm constantly doing damage. He sets up an Agility, which is very terrifying. He goes for a Zen Headbutt. I just go for another Earthquake, bring him low with the Leech Seed. And here I just decide to switch up a couple of times. That way I can just get the HP recovery and wither away as Pokemon. Finally bringing in my Arachnid as kind of the last Pokemon, because I knew he was going to go for an Earthquake. And now he brings in his Dragalge, goes for a Hidden Power. Wasn't sure if it was Ice or if it was Fire. Ends up being Fire, which Yeah, I kind of took the chance of, and I just decided to set my sticky webs because honestly, Dragalge, no matter what it does, wasn't going to be able to knock me out. And I just really want my webs up for the rest of the match. That way I can slow his team down and hopefully sweep my Donphan. So now I switch over to my... So this was a really interesting switch because I knew he probably wanted to bring in his Milotic against my Dragalge because he did, or my Dragalge, my Arachnid, because he brought it in before and there's not much that I could have done against him really with Arachnid. So I knew he was probably going to switch out into that, and so I made the double switch into, or made a switch my own into my Magnezone. And here I knew he was going to switch out, most likely into his Dragalge again. Pretty much all his Pokemon remaining. I knew that going for a Flash Cannon would probably be just a good play. So he slows down. Flash Cannon does 34%. Decided just to do a second one, do some damage to him. He goes down to 8% with his Life Orb, and now here's where Donphan comes in and just wrecks a little bit. So 54% onto a Milotic, just massive damage. So that takes out the Milotic with 2. Obviously I was faster because of the Sticky Web. Now, here's where I was really hoping and kind of was upset. Looking back afterwards, I could have done it right here. But the issue was, so my Donphan had a 93 to 116 damage roll on this Absol. So it was like a 60 to 68%, I think it was, chance of me KOing with 1 EQ on this Absol. And unfortunately, I do get like the min roll that was available. He goes for a Sword Stance, which was scary. I get 95%, so almost min roll. But had I knocked him out right there, then the rest of his team would have gone down to Donphan, which would have been awesome to see. And that's kind of what I was hoping to do. Now, the other thing that could have happened differently for me was... if I had Ice Shard right here, then I would have been able to pick up the game once again. I decided to run Knockoff instead, and honestly that was my fault. When I was prepping with this Donphan, I wasn't thinking that it was going to need priority. But in this situation, I really didn't need Knockoff for anything else. Earthquake would have been able to pick up knockouts on anything. So really I should have gone with Ice Shard, and had I done that, then Donphan would have cleaned up the rest of this game. From here, I figured that a knockoff is most likely going to knock me out, so I just switch into my Aromatisse, resist it, kind of sack off. He does get a crit, which had that not happened, I probably could have lived a follow-up knockoff and Wish protected and just gotten all my health back. He got lucky with that. Didn't really change the outcome too much. Honestly, the Aromatisse was just me sacking it off so that way I could bring in my Entei afterwards. That's exactly what I did, and I just go for the extreme speed. No problem for me. Now, he brings in his Ditto here, and I am rocking Stone Edge on this set. And after looking at the damage calcs, it was very unlikely that a Stone Edge would knock me out from this range. So I just decided to go for the double extreme speed, as he does hit me with the Stone Edge. Brings me down very low, but it's enough where I was able to survive. Knock him out with the extreme speed. Sand Slash comes in, doing a damage calc. I see that most likely I won't be able to pick him up with a extreme speed, so I go for the Sacred Fire. Fortunately, I do hit him and knock him out. All that's left is Dragalge at 8%, and I just pick him up with an extreme speed. Even if I had gone for a different move and missed, it would it wouldn't have mattered because he did have Life Orb, so if he attacked, then he would have knocked himself out. So this ended up being a 4-0 victory for me. Pretty much the main focus that I had in this game was just softening up some of his Pokemon, so that way Donphan and Entei could come in later and just clean up. And I was able to kind of stay ahead of Mick in terms of what I thought he was going to do and kind of plays that he was going to make. So kind of staying ahead and really just leveraging my advantage allowed me to pick up the 4-0 victory. So very good game to Mick. I look forward to seeing what he does in the future in the league. Best of luck to him in week 3, and I hope you guys enjoyed my recap. Let me know what you thought of the battle, what you would have done differently.